Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Formula Fun podcast. And it's time for the race review of the Hungarian Grand Prix 2018. As per usual, I'm joined alongside by Rage himself. How you doing?
Hello!
Oh, very gruff intro today. You alright?
I'm absolutely fabulous.
Good.
That's what I normally set as the script.
Your trademark's saying it. It certainly is.
Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, so we need to milk this one for all it's worth.
Do we?
Final race for a month even, as we go into the summer break now, isn't it?
Yeah, why
What are
not?
we gonna do? Why can't the Formula One guys release the game, or Codemasters release the game straight after the Hungarian Grand Prix each year? Then at least we'd have something to do for a month.
I guess.
But no. I have to wait till the end of the month. Lovely. So, yeah, Hungary. You're never too sure with this race, are you? It can be a cracker, it can be a bit of a damp squib.
A little bit of a damp squib.
But it was a mixed bag, wasn't it?
A little bit of a mixed bag.
We got a lot of our excitement on a Saturday, and there was some excitement in the race as well, and certainly not a weekend that we did not expect the result that came out of it. I think we're right in saying.
Yeah, it was a bit of a... We thought some things were going to happen, but others did.
And others didn't. That's the way
others didn't.
the Pirelli tyre crumbles, as they say, nowhere ever. Practice was mostly
Some
just
cars go round in the
practice.
corner.
They did.
Some cars went round.
They did.
Some didn't.
They did not.
And some were on fire.
Fire!
Was there any fire?
I don't remember any fire.
I don't know. You always got to shout if there's a bit of fire.
Was there fire? You can't say
Could have
fire
been.
if there wasn't fire. That's like the boy shouting, crying wolf.
Boy shouting wolf, is it?
Yeah.
Wolf! Fire!
No, it's in the saying a boy cries wolf. As in,
I
you
understood.
keep shouting fire, and then there is a fire. No one will believe you. There's a fire. Then
Burning.
you'll be on fire. Yeah. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants fire.
No. I don't remember too much happening from practice. I certainly didn't hear
I
much
didn't watch any
from
of
it. I don't watch it. To be
Some
fair.
people were fast. Some people weren't.
Yeah. I think I watched a bit of practice 3 actually.
Did you?
Yeah, apart from that.
I didn't.
I bought Sky this weekend, so I was about
That was worth
Saturday
it, wasn't
morning.
it?
Yeah.
You didn't watch any of the practice?
I watched practice 3, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was on Saturday morning. Well, I'm at work on Friday, aren't I?
I have no
Like
idea.
most people.
Don't know what you get up to on the daily.
Yeah, you
Could be butchering and
well, you do.
trimming badgers for all I care.
Okay, I want to assure people that that's not something I do with my time.
Jamie, he butchers badgers.
It may be something Rage does, considering that came so quickly to him.
Badger culling.
Yeah.
The next best sport since snooker.
Well, I mean, it is a sport, kind of. It's TB, isn't it?
Badger calling, the sport for farmers.
They were calling people. Yeah, they were calling people to go out and kill badgers at one point. Like,
Whack a badger.
whack a badger today, and get
Bosh a badger on a bonce.
2p off your next steak. Right, that's our normal crappy roundup of practice. Let's get on to qualifying, shall we? And it's got to be said, one of the best qualifying sessions in a long time. Definitely the most exciting this year, I would say.
Was it?
With are we talking about the same qualifying session?
Was it?
Yeah,
I don't know, mate.
3
I didn't
different
watch the
types.
rest of it.
Oh, good.
I
Okay.
watched half of it. I got a bit distracted.
Okay. Right. Good job you're not doing an F1 podcast or anything.
No, well, you know.
I don't mean that adequately explains it, but okay. Right. Yeah, it was 3 types of tyres wet to dry to wet to dry. I mean, we saw every element during that qualifying session. Q1 was completed on the dry tyres, but not before they went out on the intermediates at the beginning. And finally, the last couple of races, we've seen some rain that we've been sorely missing this year. It really does spice things up every now and then. So, a few people caught out very early on.
Yes.
In Q1. Sort of mid-session. The Mercedes, Ferraris and Red Bulls were running round on the intermediates long into the session, long after people had gone in and come back out on the slick tyres. And if there'd been a tiny bit of rain at the end of that session, all 6 of them could have been knocked out potentially, because they were all in the bottom 6 at one stage. So they were very lucky to get through and very slow to react. But the time just kept tumbling and tumbling the entire session. And it was exciting stuff to watch.
Gripping stuff.
It was unusual, you know. We saw 20 cars out on the track for 20 minutes, full stop. Just because they had to be.
They had to.
Exactly, they have to.
And they can just do like unlimited runs almost, can't they? Because they can just go round and round and round and round.
Exactly.
You never know what's going to happen. Is it going to get better or not?
Exactly. They just fuel it up and hope. Send them and hope.
Yep.
But still, we sort of ended up with a normal sort of order being knocked out in Q1, apart from maybe Charles Leclerc being the surprise, and I guess the Force Indias were as well. But Sirotkin, Perez, Ocon, Leclerc, Van Dorn, and Lance Stroll knocked out in Q1. 2 Force Indias on what I'm sure we'll get to. It was a pretty tricky weekend for them in general, let alone what happened on track.
Force India fun times.
So, yeah, I don't think they would have been too buoyed by that after
no.
What's happened. But Charles Leclerc also surprising. He's
where he should be.
Well, yeah, exactly. He didn't outperform the car, but he was out-qualified by his teammate. So,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that shows you how,
poor
performance it was. Yeah, but at the same time, he hasn't really dealt with changing conditions in Formula 1 yet. That's something else he'll learn and pick up, I'm sure. So, it happens. Q2, very interesting session. Again, everybody out on the dry tyres, apart from Mr. Sebastian Vettel, who went out on the intermediates, and everyone's going, what's he doing?
He's a madman.
Fucking idiot.
He's an absolute nutter.
And then they got to the final sector, and it was like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect decision. He did the fastest lap of Q2 by almost 2 seconds on the first go. And then everybody else, obviously slow to react, put the inters on, and they only really had 1 or 2 goes at it before the heavens opened again. And it led to a few more big names being knocked out in Q2. So Ericsson, unsurprisingly, 14th. I think Stroll did actually get through, but did he beat it? He did something as to why he didn't run.
No clue, because I wasn't really watching it.
I'm more talking with myself in this qualifying. So you don't really get active till we get to the race in these podcasts. You don't watch anything.
I don't watch Q1 because it's a parade. I don't watch Q2 because you normally know what's going to happen. I have it on in the background, but I'll do other things, and I'll just make sure I keep my head in. But I don't normally watch what happens.
It is a long time, an hour, isn't it?
He's going round in a circle a little bit faster than the other guy. Oh, look, he's out. What a surprise. He's in a Williams.
And it's so ironic that qualifying is your favourite part of any racing game.
I know it is.
And you don't enjoy watching
fun.
These drivers going the fastest they go all weekend.
I like Q3, and that's when they go the fastest.
Okay.
Normally.
I guess.
It's 10
Fair
minutes. Enough. It's really quick, nice and easy, doesn't spoil your day.
Formula 1 qualifying 1 and 2 spoils your fucking day. There's a slap that on a t-shirt, Formula 1 bosses.
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
Apparently so. How dare you have to watch a car going less than as fast as it can possibly go.
I know, it's just absolutely terrible.
Okay, well, Q2 then. Ericsson knocked out. Hulkenberg a surprise. Ricardo again, another surprise, caught out by the rain. And
Bad showing for the
Fernando
old
Alonso.
boys in blue.
It was the first of two bad results in qualifying, really. Max Verstappen just about getting himself through into Q2. Fernando Alonso missing out as well, but Fernando Alonso, one of the best radio exchanges all year in Q2.
It doesn't matter. You can strap a rope to the back. It will still be
you
P11.
heard that, didn't you? Catch the meme somehow.
I caught the meme. Is that you want to come on and put on some full words? It doesn't matter. If we come in, you can strap a rope to the back of the car. It will still be P11.
Spot on, yeah.
So funny.
It was brilliant.
I was laughing a fair bit when that happened.
He still
I was
went
getting ready for Q3, so that's why I saw it.
Started paying attention, I guess so.
Yeah.
He gave it a good go, to be fair, but even if guys were improving in the middle sector, but they couldn't get anywhere near in the final sector, it's far too wet. So there you go, unlucky. On to Q3 then, full wets, and for the first time all weekend, Mercedes had finally found their rhythm and their tyre. The wet tyres just instantly worked for them, whereas it didn't for the rest of the field, or the Ferrari, shall we say. So it was a big shock in qualifying. As well, let's go back.
Massive shock.
It was. Let's go back.
Big shock. Shock to the system.
Okay, you finish
Yes,
with your pointless sound effects. I'm so glad we don't have Beat Jay this weekend.
We don't have what? Sorry.
Beat Rage this, or is it which way round is it?
Do you mean no? It's Beat Jamie is the one that I did. Now it's Beat
Rage.
Beat Rage. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's go back front as usual. The Haas is not quite as strong in the wet as they have been all season in the dry, but still managed to get through to Q3, P9 and P10. And then the stars of qualifying, the two Toro Rossos, P6 and P8, making the most of these conditions. I mean, the Honda engine, as McLaren have shown, has always been strong at this track because it's not a factor. But they excelled even more in the wet. And to be fair, fair play to Brendan Hartley. Put in a great performance as well. He's still 6 tenths off his teammate, but that was enough to get him through and qualify him 8th, his highest ever starting position. So pretty good. Max Verstappen behind a Toro Rosso. I don't know what happened to them this weekend. It was abysmal, considering this is their track, this is their conditions, and Max Verstappen only P7. Any ideas?
Well, they say that they haven't tested the car with the wet tyres on. No, it's not been in the wind tunnel with wet tyres on before. It doesn't work with wet tyres. Oh, it's just a shit car.
Yeah, because this is so much more drastically different than the car that was brilliant in the wet last year.
It's so stupid. There's literally people just coming up with ideas to why it possibly could be bad. They just had a bad run. Like, it happens.
They turn up and have a bad weekend. It
was just a bad run with for seemingly bad quali session. So either they couldn't get the aero didn't turn the tyres on, is probably more like what happened. It didn't react well with the temperature. They couldn't put in the lap that they wanted to. 138 when the winners were doing 135s is way off the pace. So there was either something fundamentally wrong with the car, or I don't think all of that could be tyre. Do you know what I mean? It was like 4 seconds.
It's not all tyre. I think they were struggling all weekend. Yeah. There's something there. I think the tyres are pretty self-explanatory. The two teams that struggled are the two teams that look after their tyres better, Ferrari and Red Bull. The car that lights up their tyres, the Mercedes, unsurprisingly managed to get the tyre to work in very cold conditions.
Yeah.
Because it got the extra heat in it. That's really the rub of the green in this one.
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz, superstar once again, P5 in the Renault. Was as high as P3 with a couple of minutes to go. But then the front four finally got their act together. But still a great performance from him to be best of the rest and ahead of 2 Red Bulls. To get his highest ever qualifying position. Sebastian Vettel not what he needed after Germany. Definitely not the qualifying he needed in P4. Kimi Räikkönen out-qualifies him. I want to say for the first time, but I think it's second or third. But it's not happened very often.
No idea.
Put it that way. Well, good, because that's a question coming up. No, it's not. And then Valtteri Bottas couldn't get anywhere near the superstar that was Lewis Hamilton. Just absolutely bossing the conditions, taking full opportunity of what was put in front of him. And
opportunity.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was looking like it was going to be an intriguing race with the two apparently much quicker cars behind the two Mercedes. That's what everyone kept saying. Did it turn out that way? We'll find out in a minute. After, although I'm pretty sure you've already watched it. I don't know why we keep doing this like it's Cloak and Dagger, but
you already know.
Yeah, exactly. Just in case you don't. Also, if you're watching this instead of watching the race, then or listening to this, then don't. Find something to watch it on. Star qualifying for you?
A man in a race suit.
You're really cooperative today, even less so than usual.
Gasly did very well.
Gasly, yeah, I'd
Carlos
have to.
did well too, as well.
He did. He's where I would expect him to be if the Red Bulls were off, though, isn't it? Best of the rest.
Yeah, I would say
so
Gasly.
I would agree
Toro
with
Rosso
Gasly.
beat the Red Bull.
Yeah, that was a stunning performance from him. In what was a great weekend. Right, on to the race we go. Yes?
Yeah, I was watching in Peasant Vision, I think, again.
Okay.
It's the old Peasant Vision.
Well, I'd be surprised if they managed to find enough to put on, even on Peasant Vision, from this race. There were some flashpoints, but it was, for the most part, quite a drab race.
It was like, when's it going to happen? Oh, never.
Oh, there's a little bit of action at the end, and we're finished.
Yeah, pretty much.
It
It was a strategy race, wasn't it?
It was always going to be. We didn't get the Sebastian Vettel steering wheel issue that really hotted up last year's race, or the charging Red Bulls like the year before. So
Steering?
Yeah, last year he had his steering wheel off at a right angle.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? And he had Raikkonen as his rear gunner. And Raikkonen could have easily passed him and won it, but still stuck behind. But it led to those two Ferraris and two Mercedes all in a line for like 20 laps, which was quite interesting, I guess. But no such luck this year. No such luck. Okay, I mean, it was all really status quo at the beginning, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
From what I remember. Yeah, they all got away. Lewis Hamilton got a good start. Both Mercedes got a good start, and both Ferraris sort of stayed behind. Vettel did manage to jump Kimi Räikkönen into turn 1 and then almost went round the outside of Valtteri Bottas into turn 2. Vettel started on the soft tyres, which was interesting. But also then did probably the worst thing he could have done for his team, which is just get past and then sit in front of Räikkönen on the faster tyres. So Räikkönen couldn't really attack the two Mercedes, as would have been the better strategy, I feel. Little bit of action further back in the field. There's
a couple of nudges and bumps.
There's a couple of little bumps. I think it was the Sauber of Ericsson.
Yeah, why not?
That someone hit?
Ericsson hit
Ricciardo.
Ricciardo, yeah, quite hard. Both wheels jumped
Yeah.
off the ground.
And then there was a collision, I think, between the two Saubers behind that after
Leclerc
Ericsson went
had
back.
an incident and retired on the first lap.
Yeah. I don't think that was because of damage, though, from what I know.
A lot of damage!
It might have been actually from the contact with Ericsson.
I've no idea, to be honest.
But
they never explained it.
They build those suspension good. It was a massive whack with Daniel Ricciardo and Ericsson.
What? They lifted up about fucking a foot off the ground.
Yeah, and it was front and rear wheels,
Mm.
and they were still okay. So they build them good in Milton Keynes, apparently. And then a bit of squabbling in the midfield, but everything sort of sorted itself out, and we were settling in for a very normal race. There's really not much to say, is there, from this race?
Not really. To be fair, everyone came in. I think Vettel thought he was going to win out in the first pit stop, but he had a wheel issue, front wheel issue, maybe.
It was
And then,
rear right.
Was it rear right or was it front right? There was a tyre, and it didn't go on. It was a 4.1 second stop.
5.2. Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's details.
There was a stop, one of them longer than the other.
Accurate timing's not important in Formula One.
I think he came out behind Bottas, didn't he?
Yeah, so Raikkonen and Bottas stopped very early. And pretty much, I thought, pretty much put them onto a two-stop strategy. Obviously, Vettel wanted to go longer on those soft tyres. And then Lewis pitted and came back out in second. And the gap sort of stayed pretty solid between Lewis and Seb for a few laps. And then Seb hit some massive traffic, lost quite a bit of time, which lost him his advantage to Bottas. But he was still pretty much on the margin. But as you say, that longer stop meant that he came out just behind Bottas, which would have been their ideal situation. Before that, we had Ricciardo slicing his way through the field. Turn 1 expert at Hungary, he always has been, but even more so here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And you feel it was a little bit more special. We've seen Vettel do it, we've seen Hamilton do it the last few races at different times, slicing their way through the field, and everyone sort of gets out the way. But Ricciardo was fought hard on many occasions, and it was a very hard track to overtake. So I think it makes it that little bit better, a little bit more special of a performance from him to get through in the way he did.
It looks like he was really struggling to get through as well. Like, he would close the gap, but then to actually get past was mad.
Yeah, well, it's a super difficult track to overtake, as we've alluded to, and it is. People say it's the most similar track is Monaco because it's very similar layout, just without the barriers. So, yeah, it was brave from him. He had a few little scuffles with Alonso and Magnussen, which were very close, but they were always going to be tough men to pass at this track, weren't they? Yeah, definitely both got their errors out, but still pretty good for him to get through the field. And then, yeah, so it set up the end of the race, which was Vettel. He was on the ultra softs, and I think he would have still probably struggled to get past well, I think he would have caught Hamilton, but whether he would have passed him is a completely different matter. But
Do you think?
I definitely think he would have caught him. Yeah, he was a second and a half quicker, and if he'd come back out ahead of Bottas, he would have been 9-10 seconds behind with nearly 30 laps to play. So I think he could have caught him pretty easily on those tyres. But, whether he would have had enough to get past him, we'll never know. But as we know, you're stuck up behind a car that there's not much pace difference. It's almost impossible. But he sort of just... He didn't show any real desire, did he? Vettel, to even have a look at Bottas early on.
It took him a long time before he got in position. So it could have been like a long time coming.
Well, I think he said himself in interviews he was waiting. He pretty much settled for second, and he was just waiting for a good opportunity or waiting for Bottas's tyres to go off to get that second. It seems after a couple of laps he just knew and didn't even try, which I guess is playing.
He might have been able to see Lewis like at the end of the straight disappearing as he, was just appearing on it, and thought, I'm never going to get him with the amount of laps I've got. I guess him behind the wheel knows if he can do it.
Yeah, and I think it's that percentage game as well, isn't it, that make some of these drivers so great. They do just settle for that and take the points and move on. Sometimes you got to do that in a World Championship battle. So it's still a bit of a shame. I would have liked to have seen him come back out in second if it wasn't for that pit stop and see what he could have done. about Hamilton, because we never get that epic duel between them at the moment. We've had it once or twice so far, but I want to see it a bit more often.
Align, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. But I want to see it a couple more times before the end of the year. Really see them go head to head, and those kind of encounters will probably decide the championship. But in the end, it was a very, very comfortable win for Lewis. Raikkonen got himself past Bottas after Vettel. I suppose we'll go with the Vettel overtake on Bottas first. Very, very similar to Ricciardo's on Rosberg's last year or year before last, wasn't it? Where he just cut across the front of him and got that puncher.
Oh yeah.
And same thing with Bottas. Well, Ricciardo just cutting across Vettel cutting across the front of him and losing a bit of Bottas's front wing.
That was so stupid.
From who?
Vettel. I just thought it was so stupid. Why did he cut in so much? You know, he'd already won the place. You didn't leave the space for him to actually get round the corner. I just thought it was a bit silly, avoidable.
So you're of the opinion that's Vettel's fault as well?
Well, I don't think at that point though. What could have Bottas done? He was on the inside of the corner. There was a Ferrari on the outside of him. He can't go into the Ferrari, nor can he go onto the grass. The only thing he can do is brake for the corner, and you know he can only brake so close. But if Vettel closes the door like that completely, and he hadn't completed the overtake, what more could Bottas have done? Really, in that position, he was a passenger. He couldn't have got out the way any more than what happened. You know, you saw after he knew the incident was going to come, and he quickly turned to the right to almost avoid the contact. But I don't know. I thought it was a bit silly.
But it was the second bit that was the real problem.
The bit where he took it off, yeah, around that kind of left-hander.
Yeah, so I guess we're missing out what really... So yeah, Vettel cut across, and I think that was 50-50 instant. I think Bottas, if he's smart, he cuts back a little bit, but we've seen from...
A little earlier, maybe.
Yeah, but we've seen from it happening before that it's very easy to do in that turn one, cutting and judging where the other person is. But it was the second move that was stupid.
Where he cut all the way across the racetrack?
No, where he locked up into turn two and hit Vettel.
Yeah.
And lost his front wing. It was last gasp, and I guess it was Mercedes, you know, hold them up at all costs kind of thing.
Do you think?
I think that was his objective for the race, wasn't it? To make sure that Ferraris didn't get past him. No. To make sure the Ferraris didn't get past him.
I guess, yeah.
And as soon as one did, he tried to get back past him when it was never really on.
Are you talking about the Ricciardo incident?
No,
because I'm not seeing something then that you saw. Because as soon as he had his incident,
the first incident,
yeah,
Vettel goes past into turn one,
yeah,
clips his wing slightly,
on turn one
with his rear.
Did he?
Yeah,
and
then Bottas tries to go down the inside into turn two, locks up and hits him.
Okay, that's not how I saw it, but yeah.
I might be wrong.
I saw it as they were both side by side going into turn one. If not, Vettel was a little bit further back. Bottas went round the corner but had a little bit of oversteer. That got Vettel up alongside him. And then when there was neck and neck going into the braking zone, Vettel got his brakes done perfectly well. Bottas probably got it as well, but then Vettel just closed the door. That's how I saw it.
But well, I'm just watching it again now.
Okay, give us the link as well.
I might be wrong.
I want to see too.
So Vettel goes around the outside.
I guess I could Google it.
I'm thinking of the Ricciardo incident. I thought there was a little bit in turn one. Oh, the new Steam puts it in Steam.
Yeah, it doesn't let you watch it though.
Video contains content from Formula One management who blocks the display.
He got really close going down into turn one, and Bottas had to go defensive. They were almost round each other, and then Bottas gets a little bit of oversteer. That gives Vettel the drive into turn 2, then just shuts the door. That's the bit I don't get. He could have left the space and he could have taken him into turn 3.
I mean, he
That's the
was
bit I don't
basically
get.
passed.
He was, yeah, he was basically passed. But the thing is, the thing that I don't understand, and I don't understand this about Vettel, he's so quick to think that he's already beaten someone, and he just needs to just, in my look, I know everyone's view of Formula One is subjective, but the space there, if you go to 19 seconds and pause it, you know there's a Formula One car there. You know there's a Formula One car next to you, even if it's only your rear wheel and his rear wheel. He's got a mirror. He knows he's there. He's stupid if he doesn't know he's there. He does. He's driving for his whole life. He knows he's there. But you cut into the corner so tight that you don't allow for error. And I know you're racing against someone like Bottas, but even so, Bottas isn't going to give up the position easily. Why would you not leave that? To me, that lacks respect against the other driver, because you have to leave a little bit of room for him. You've got to leave a little bit of an allowance
when they're
for
alongside. He's not alongside.
I know, but for the thing is, though, man, you
don't open the door if a car is not alongside.
I know. I'm not saying he needed to open the door, but what you need to do is at least leave enough room for him to actually gain access.
That
to
is
the
opening
corner.
the door when you're taking a racing line. If you're taking a racing line and a car is behind you, you don't, every time a car's trying to pass you and it is behind you, you stay off the racing line to give them space. That's the difference. Bottas isn't even close to him.
I know Bottas isn't close, and I know Bottas was never going to regain the position, right? But think you're both driving at like 120 miles an hour into an almost off-camber corner that is a long corner as well, and understeer is a massive factor going into that corner. Would you not just think a tiny bit smarter and leave at least enough space for error? Like, if you're going round that corner, he could have had the inside corner going into the next part of the corner. The quick right-hander. He would have had the job done. Ricciardo does it to Bottas exactly the same way a couple of laps later after the Ricciardo-Bottas incident. That's all he had to do, was just leave that tiny little bit more room. I don't know. I know, look, Vettel was perfectly right to take his corner. That's absolutely fine. But it was almost a slap across the face saying, I've already taken you, mate. What are you doing? But Bottas is on a dirty part of the racetrack, and Vettel should have known that, and he should have at least given him a little bit of leeway for error. And he wouldn't have had the damage or risked the damage to his car. I think, in my opinion, Vettel was very lucky to get away with just a racing incident. Because what could have Bottas done? Really,
not locked up and gone onto the curb, which is why he hit him.
But the reason he locked up and went into the curb because he was on the inside dirty part of the track.
Yeah,
again, Bottas should have known and should have gone, oh shit, I best put the brakes on. A little bit sooner. I'm on the dirty part of the track. I'm probably not going to get round him. Maybe he thought that Vettel wasn't going to close the door so aggressively. Look, I'm not a Bottas fan, and I like Vettel, so it's not because I like one more than the other. It's literally completely unbiased, on the fence for me for these guys.
It's from my perspective, the accident happened because Bottas didn't back out. Every other driver in that position would have backed out. There's no driver on the grid that would have opened the door there. So he would have known. The reason, when we don't see those every day, you can't, like, if Vettel had left him a little bit more room, if he'd left him a car width, Bottas still would have hit him. That's how overcooked he was. What Bottas has done is said, I'm going to steam it up the inside, whatever happens. He's got onto the curb, not even the dirty part of the circuit, a curb that they do not use on that corner, locked up and hit Vettel. That's what's happened. And Vettel's just driven round the corner. I'm not a Bottas fan or a Vettel fan. It's that, in my opinion, is what's happened.
It's a very tricky one, that, and I think that's probably why they called it a racing incident.
Yeah, I understand why it's a late racing incident. I do. I wouldn't have given Bottas a penalty for it. I say he's to blame for it, but
I think it was the right decision.
He came off worse, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So and maybe I'm getting these events mixed up. I'm going to see if I can find the Ricciardo one now. So that was Bottas with the front wing damage just understeering into him, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's but I think Ricardo even gave him some space.
Oh,
He even knew what was going to happen, and then it still happened. So it's just one of those things. I think even Danny didn't really mind too much. I think he got the position that he knew that was the best he could have got.
Yeah, he was happy to get it back anyway on track.
Yeah. I think if he didn't get it back, he probably would have been a bit frustrated. But hey ho, I guess that's he got it back in quite good style, and apparently gave him the stinky finger as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, after he took him and gave him the stinky finger going down to that little straight after turn 3. I don't know if you can find that. I haven't found it, but apparently he did.
No, I believe that of Ricardo. He did. I'm sure it wasn't an offensive one though. It's just in joke. Like.
Oh no, I think he meant it. I think he was like fucking.
Well, like you said, I don't think he would have been too annoyed because he wasn't going to catch Raikkonen, was he? So
no,
didn't make much difference, I guess.
Cheeky little stinky finger, mate.
Yeah.
He always love a stinky finger.
Apparently. Do they?
Yeah. Webber always gave the stinky finger.
I don't know why it's called the stink. I've never heard it called the stinky finger. You and your sayings.
Drivers giving the stinky finger. Let's see if it's a thing, is it? I don't know if it is a thing,
I've never heard it before.
The old stinky finger.
I'm pretty sure if you take F1 drivers giving out of that, you're going to get some very weird stuff. So,
F1 drivers stinky finger. Hey, there you go. Alonso crashes heavily, pulls out the stinky finger. I don't know. It's just it's what people call the middle finger, and it's like middle finger slang that you have obviously never heard of.
I guess so. No, I live a sheltered life.
A sheltered life.
I don't get subjected to this slang very often. Right. It meant that Lewis Hamilton took a very easy win. Vettel was lucky, I think, in the end to get second.
Yes.
He
could have had a puncher and it could have gone to Raikkonen.
Yeah, and I also think I think Raikkonen was also the quicker car this weekend, and he's lucky that certain team orders were allowed. But we'll go back to that one tiny point. Turn 1, do you think that was orchestrated? Raikkonen just pulling to the inside and letting Vettel go around the outside.
I'd hate to say it, but I think it was.
It looked it, didn't it? The agreement was if Raikkonen didn't jump one of the Mercedes into turn 1, he lets Vettel pass and have a go.
Yeah, I think it probably was.
But I think it was the wrong decision, because I think Raikkonen could have...
Raikkonen's really, nowadays, got no real chance of winning the championship. It's been thrown away or squandered away or team ordered away. So I guess they're, as a team, they've got to look towards Vettel to get the championship now. It's a bit like Bottas, isn't it?
Right, but you've got two Mercedes that are worried about their tyre life and are looking to go a lot longer in the second stint than the first, and they need to get that life out of the ultra tyres on heavy fuel. So what you want is someone disrupting them. You don't want Vettel sitting miles off them, not putting any pressure on. You want Raikkonen up there, burning up his tyres, trying to make them push to stay ahead, burn up their tyres, come in earlier, and that makes Vettel's job easier at the end of the race. That's where I think they mucked up. Because I think Raikkonen was blisteringly quick.
Risk, do they? They almost like run their own race, don't they?
Yeah, they've gone back to that. They have been a bit better with it this year, but they do seem...
Maybe they fell back to that this time.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I heard afterwards that apparently Toto Wolff said that Bottas played the brilliant wingman, and he didn't like being called a wingman.
That was all on Sky, so it was in an interview with Sky. He said that, and then
first wingman hurts.
and then Natalie Pinkham of Sky Sports interviewed him straight after, and then said that quote straight to him, and it hurt him. I think he accepts that he has to do it, but he doesn't want to be that. I think Raikkonen probably doesn't want to be it, but he's much more acceptant of it at his point of his career, which we've talked about before. But that would have hurt Bottas, I'm sure. It's a bit of a mistake from Toto. You still don't go out and say that publicly about your driver, no matter what everybody knows.
I think he meant it in the nicest possible way.
Yeah, but a Formula 1 driver, after finishing 5th in a race that they should have been on the podium, that's not what they want to hear, is it?
Yeah, good job, wingman.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost sarcastic. But yeah, it meant then that Raikkonen gets his 4th or 5th straight podium in a row. Really bringing in those points for Ferrari, and it's great to see him. He seems a lot happier the last few races as well, when he is on the podium and about the pits and stuff. He just seems to be in a good place. So I just want him to win. Really want him to win one race, yeah. I know it will take Vettel being out of the equation, but I do want to see him win one. And I think he can do if Vettel's not there. And then, yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, another stellar recovery. Bit fortunate to get 4th, really, because of what happened to Bottas, but still, a better race from him. And Valtteri Bottas ended up 5th. I guess we did miss out the Max Verstappen incident.
Oh, yeah, the little Max Verstappen crashy. Breaky.
The mechanical issue, yeah.
Breaky crashy.
I don't know what it's got to do with crashy.
Breaky crashy.
Okay. You being genuine here, or you?
No, he had a... was it an electrical issue? I don't know.
Yeah, something like... No, it was an MG UK issue.
It was an issue.
Which, there was an interesting point over the weekend, which apparently Ted's going to investigate more on Sky Sports. So I'll just regurgitate his information on this one. Since they won't let me in the paddock to do my own research, bastards. Apparently they haven't... There was an updated MG UK, which was going to be more reliable for Renault, ages ago, like Canada or Monaco. Or maybe even Spain. It was really long time ago, and they've just refused to take it, apparently, for whatever reason.
Maybe they know something's wrong with it.
But there have been no failures of the new ones, and Red Bull have had like 3 or 4 of the old ones between the two cars. So, like, why will they not take the new one? Something weird going on there. But stay tuned for that. Or maybe not. Depends how Ted gets on. That's where I get most of my information from.
Ted rabbits.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, guys!
Ted, help me out here.
Please, Ted, help me out. I'm in a tough spot, mate. Don't take all my money, Ted. Please, I've got kids to feed.
You want how much for your information? Oh,
you want me to dance, Ted? No, not again, Ted.
Why do I have to put the sandals on, Ted?
Let me keep my trousers on, Ted, please.
Okay. We were living in the realm of sort of fancy for a bit, and then it got real. Okay. Yeah, disappointing for Max and for Red Bull. Topped off a pretty dire weekend for all of them, really, involved. Pierre Gasly, our star of qualifying and probably my star of the race as well in P5. Did such a similar job than we've seen from some of the Renaults and some of the Hasses, or Magnussen and Alonso on 1 or 2 occasions early season, where one driver from the midfield really shines and just gets away from the rest of them. And that was Gasly this weekend. Staying on the lead lap as well. It was an incredible performance from him, to be fair. And some more great points from him. And I think Gasly's is another future star of F1. I think it's fair to say, to do that in that car. Kevin Magnussen, P7. Some more great points for Haas. Fernando Alonso on his birthday gets P8 for McLaren. Interesting race from him, I guess. I think they got really lucky with the strategy. I think they pitted on a virtual safety car. And also the cars behind him, Sainz, Grosjean. I think the Force Indias at the time had got stuck up behind someone who pitted later on. It might have been Ericsson. And it meant that he was able to jump the lot of them in the pit stops. So good strategy from McLaren. Carlos Sainz dropped back to 9th. Didn't really have the best race considering his starting position. And Roman Grosjean gets only his 2nd points of the season in P10. but still strong performances from Haas, and yeah, 2 Spaniards and Gasly shining once again, and Magnussen.
2 Spaniards, Gasly and Magnussen, all shining.
All those guys. I would say those guys are, it's only missing maybe swapping Grosjean for Hulkenberg, and they're the people that have really shined, and Leclerc. Okay. Maybe not. There's a lot of good drivers in the midfield, let's put it that way. And they're showing their worth again. Brendan Hartley unable to get to stay in the points. Bit disappointed from him, and probably seals his place when they had such a strong car this weekend and he still doesn't manage to score any points. It's not great. He's so likeable, but I think he's better off in sports car racing. He can achieve more there as well. Nico Hulkenberg made a very late stop, I think, from what I remember, which turned out to be the wrong decision. Or made 2-stop strategy when they should have stayed on the 1. If he'd stayed on the 1, he would have been comfortably in the points. So, bit of a boo-boo from Renault. And Force India topped off a pretty dire weekend in 13th and 14th. Ericsson back in 15th, went back 1 place actually. So, not the greatest weekend for him. And then the 2 Williams and Stoffel Van Dorn retired. So, first talking point from the weekend. Can you see Ferrari coming back at this championship strong, or do you think it's Lewis Hamilton's to really lose now? I know it's still early, but it's the biggest gap of the championship. It's like 28 points now, and we know how strong Hamilton comes back after the summer break. I mean, you've got to say it's still wide open, but it's a very, very big swing, hasn't it, the last couple of races?
I think it's still anyone's. All that takes right now is a DNF. I think it's literally anyone's championship still. Lewis, yeah, he's got the whatchamacallit, the
bit between his teeth.
No,
the apple
momentum.
In his mum's eye.
He's got momentum and he's got a race in lieu, but
it can all switch around. I agree.
Everything can happen, and it normally does.
Yeah, that's true. But I still feel it's 2 races that Ferrari should have won that they've lost out on. So,
but anything can happen. Qualifying can go wrong. You could have a technical issue for one of the Mercedes. It's so many races left, and these races arguably are not necessarily Mercedes' favourite races coming up. We've got some very short short tight tracks. We have some really street style tracks.
Yeah, that's what I think about the next 2 races. They're very short, tight tracks.
What do you mean?
Belgium and Monza, really not power circuits, are they?
I was more thinking go a little bit further. So like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Singapore, Brazil, short, tight tracks.
Yeah, apart from the next 2. No, I know what you meant. There are tracks that are gonna, but that's been the amazing thing about this season, isn't it? It's ripped up convention of which car is fast at which track, and it can change from week to week. Mercedes have dominated Monza and Spa the last few years, but Ferrari seem to have the best car in a straight line at the moment, so it might switch to them. And then Singapore, Mercedes have struggled so much over the last few years, and Red Bull have been so strong. It could all switch around again there. You just don't know. I agree it's still open, but I think it's a big, big shift. And it's the kind of one that Ferrari really need to show the strength they didn't show last year, because this is the time that it can very easily fall away from them. If they do have another couple of bad results in Spa and Monza, then all of a sudden Hamilton's got the kind of lead he had last year and it's all over. So they've really got to bounce back and win the next 2 races to really put the pressure on. Yeah, mechanical issues and that can happen, but you can't rely on it. So yeah, it's still wide open, but I still think it's a very strong message from Mercedes the last 2 races, especially considering they haven't had the quickest car both weekends. It's a big blow for Ferrari, but a long way to go. I don't think there's any real other talking points from the race in terms of the racing itself. So, do we want to do Force India as the news section for them, or should we have a quick chat about it? before we go into the rest of the
Whatever
show?
you want, mate.
Let's go straight into your usual section. No?
Let's get right into question of the fucking week, you bastard.
Oh, I thought you were going to miss it there.
No, of course I wasn't.
Sponsored by Cream in a Fucking Can.
Yeah, we don't talk about them. They've shunned us, mate. After our bad publicity last week, that's it.
I still have to make someone a T-shirt at the end of the month, at the end of the year.
We've cut all ties now. I don't know if we legally can.
It might be cream in a metal receptacle.
Yeah, it might have to be.
Like the Audi version.
Might have to be milk in a tin at the moment. Because there's a little. We're on tender hook, so there's no plug at the moment. But might be back in negotiations.
Yeah.
Anyway, crash
we
of the
have
week.
already made 10,000 of the T-shirts. So
10,000 have been made and will be sold.
They will be sold, even if it's you selling them to us back to you.
Yes.
I.e. paying you.
Yes.
Right. What was your crash of the week?
Well, some crashes happened. And they happened this week. Yes, they did.
I'm just going to let you try and think it.
I literally there's the only real crash of the week, and it's the Ferrari Bottas incident. There wasn't any other very good ones, was there, really?
No. I don't think so. I still feel there's something... Chair's gone really creaky. I apologise. That's been picked up by a mic. I still feel there was something big in practice that I've missed, but I don't... Was there?
Some stuff happened.
I don't think there was. Let's take a quick look at the thumbnails on the official page, because that will tell us. FP3, no crashes. FP2, don't think there's any crashes. There's a spinning Sauber in FP1.
Well, yeah, he spun a couple of times, didn't he, old Sauber?
Yeah, I don't think that was a crash, though. So I'd probably agree with you. I think maybe Ricciardo's was a bit more violent with Bottas, but there wasn't really any big crashes, was there? It's not. They will get to a point one week where crash of the week is nothing because there hasn't been a single crash.
That's when we go to like the F2.
True, but you've gone to F2 sometimes this season when there've been great crashes in F1.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
True. All right, so let's move on to the news then. And I guess the big breaking news is Force India going into administration caused by their lead driver, Sergio Perez.
Whoa!
Demanding his
lead driver?
Yeah, I would say Ocon's the junior in that team. That's not their skill.
Hideous.
That's not their skill level. He is the lead driver, though.
Jesus!
He's been in the team longer.
Tell them why he did what he did.
Well, he hasn't been paid all year.
Oh yeah.
All year. So he wanted his money.
Checo's been on the cornflakes.
Yeah, fair enough. And as he's quite rightly said, he was put in that position where he's been asked to save the jobs of everybody all year, basically, by not taking a salary. Which is fair enough, but, you know, there does have to be a point where you ask for it. And that's what's happened. They've put legal action together to ask for the 4 million. That 4 million's put them into administration. You know, I think they were already pretty much lining up a buyer anyway, so I think the timing's probably right, and I think that might have been why he's done it at this time. But I've got to say, I'm very impressed with the way Perez has handled himself this weekend and some of the interviews he's given. You know, he's fully owned up to it and, you know, said how difficult a decision it was for him to do, and I feel that this might have just been the time that he could do it before the new owners come in, so he can get his money, and he hasn't. It's the least detriment to the team, and he has effectively taken that zero paycheck all year just to keep the guys around him in a job. So I think there's a lot of criticism of him, but I think it's actually quite he's dealt with it as best as he could. There's a lot of drivers that, you know, would have refused to race beforehand. Kimi Räikkönen.
Yep.
So I think he's dealt with it well. and it means that we will probably see a new Force India owner in the next couple of weeks. I hope that this is all as solid as they think it is, because if it's not, this whole news isn't worrying as long as what they're saying is true.
It's all fine, mate.
It's all fine, unless it's not, in which case it could very realistically be the end of Force India. But I feel they must have someone lined up.
I heard, what was I going to say? That VJ had been purposely not paying his bills so he gets a buyer.
What, not paying the bills for Force India?
Yeah.
How does that increase the chances of them getting a buyer? Just because
idea.
It goes into administration, they have to have one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cutthroat way to do it, isn't it?
Apparently they've had the sponsors, BW, whatever it is, the pink sponsor,
yeah,
have been saying that the sponsorship money they provided them was actually a loan. So technically, if VJ's not controlling that thingy anymore, he ain't got to pay back any of that money, is he? He's not part of the team. Sponsorship stays with the team. It's not VJ's problem. I don't know. It's all very dodgy. As you say, it's VJ, so it's probably a bit more dodgy than it has to be.
Yeah, that's the only part that worries me. There was, of course, the report that there was a last-minute sponsorship deal with this energy company.
Which is random because, yeah, you explain why.
Well, it's a lot of people notice that the net worth of their company can only be around about $1 million. They're a very new company. They're not very big. They only sell some drinks in England a little bit. And they no way have the 30 million that they apparently offered. And there was a lot of criticism, memes of their tweet about it, saying, anyone can get a piece of paper and write something on the front of it and say that it was their problem. Or, this deal was really going to happen, written in crayon. It's all a bit weird, that saving them thing. I mean, there have been reports of them buying it beforehand, but if the reports of their net worth and the amount of sort of capital they have, I just cannot see how that would have happened. So, especially as one of the title sponsors of Force India is Hype, another energy drink, and they clearly pay far more than this company ever would. So, it doesn't make sense to me. But it's worrying times. It's always worrying when a team goes into administration, because there's very few that, if any, that have bounced back from that in the past. But
they'll be fine.
You do feel it's different this time.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Top 14, mate. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they should be okay.
It's all fine, though.
So the big rumour, then, is that Daddy Stroll, Lawrence Stroll, will be buying the team, and Lance Stroll will be partnering Sergio Perez there next season.
Yeah, it might happen.
And we're going to see... At the moment, it's the only deal on the table, so I presume that's the one that's got Force India all confident and presuming that they're going to be fine. Because there is literally no other offer on the table at the moment. So it must be that. And then Ocon's going to be going the other way? Is Ocon going? No, Ocon's not going to Williams. Where's Ocon supposed to be ending up? Renault, I think, is where Ocon's bound.
See that happen.
Yeah, it's still quite weird though, isn't it? Mercedes driver at the main Renault team. But all this makes sense with the fact that Carlos Sainz doesn't think he's going to be at Renault next year. So that's...
The big question is, where's Carlos going?
Well, exactly. He said he's got lots of offers, but...
He's going to McLaren. Going to McLaren.
That's the most likely, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we should save all this. I feel we should... Maybe in the middle of the 4-week break, we should do a shorter podcast where we maybe bring back the topics that we haven't done for a while.
Yes, maybe. Take notes, Fox.
And
Take
do and do an opening section where we put in our provisional teams each for next year, where we think everybody's going to be.
All right.
Because I've said it lots of times before, but there's only 4 drivers confirmed next year. So it's a rare opportunity for guessing who's going to be on the grid next year.
Have a guess. Have a dabble.
Have a dabble. Right, any other major news that your little squirrels have found?
Oh. Found out that Lance Stroll likes tuna fish.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Okay.
I did have some news.
Okay.
For Williams and Red Bull, and I think Force India. Don't know why Force India did. Tested the new 2019 wing.
Yep. So that was going to be the main thing I want to talk about. Apart from that, so testing is
Sorry
going.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Carry on. Nothing happened.
No, that's.
Nothing happened.
I was. I was putting it over to you to introduce it.
Oh, okay. So there's some testing going on.
Yeah, so we've had
all
testing.
The main drivers came home, and all the young drivers stayed there.
Pretty much.
Oh, Dan Ricciardo did a bit of testing.
Yeah, they were some of the main drivers.
I know old Russell was Mercedes. I heard Jake Dennis was inbound.
No Jake Dennis today, I'm afraid.
Are you sure?
We may see him later in the week. Yeah, they're saving the best till last.
Dennis.
Jake fucking Dennis.
Just saying this again, just one more time. 8. Still. 8.
Yeah.
Let that settle in. If you've watched the Formula Fun podcast, you'll know exactly what that meme is.
Yep.
8, Jamie. 8.
Yep.
Still.
It's not going to change.
No.
I might put him in my fantasy team for next then I go and win. No. Yep, I think we can talk about that in the drivers' changes, but when we talk about it, but yeah, I think not Jake Dennis, but I think there's 3 potential drivers of that team next year.
We're talking about Stoffel Van Dorn, if anyone didn't know.
Well, no, not the potential drivers. There's 3 potential drivers.
8.
Yeah, it's not a meme if you have to explain it.
Oh, okay, sorry. I mean, we're talking about Jake Dennis.
I think you'll find that the origins of this meme started out in 2016.
Meme review.
Yeah, I think there's potentially 3 drivers in that team next year, and I don't think any of them are Stoffel Van Dorn. Let's put it that way. No, the test drivers today then were Giovinazzi for Ferrari, Ericsson for Sauber, Hartley for Toro Rosso, Norris for McLaren, Russell Mercedes, Ricciardo Red Bull, Latifi Force India, Hulkenberg Renault, Roland Williams, and Sean Gelael in the Toro Rosso with the Pirelli test. Giovinazzi, the real standout today, put in some incredible times in that Ferrari. 3 seconds clear of the rest of the field. 1:15.6, which was actually half a second quicker than Sebastian Vettel in practice 3, with his fastest time of the weekend. But he was on the hypersofts, which are obviously 1 compound quicker. But the biggest thing of today, as you alluded to, do you want to go for it?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what you were going to go.
What did they test today? What did you start off by?
2019 wing.
Okay, yeah. So have you seen some pics?
I've seen a few pics.
Okay.
It looks like a wing.
It does. I mean, there's some very obvious differences.
It's a wing.
Right. So I'll go into it. I was giving you a chance to do something, but no.
Okay. I haven't got my pictures anymore.
Okay. So the idea here is that you can't break up the elements. So they're not as simple as I thought they were going to be. They're not those sort of 2 or 3 plane wings that we saw early 2000s, late 90s, and we see in GP2 at the moment, and IndyCar. But
They've got some fins, haven't they?
Yeah, but so the idea is there's no additions. They're all flat planes. You've obviously got to have little flaps to attach them all, which is probably what you can see on there that look like wings, but they're just the little hooks to keep the elements together. But as far as I'm aware, you can't break up those elements, is the way that it works. They have to be flat elements, which should smoothen out the airflow. It's the rear wings that also, I think, are the big thing, and it's going to be interesting to see. We haven't seen those yet, because obviously they're not so easy to change into the design of the car. But from what I see, I think it's a step forward. It's not as drastic as I would have liked, but it's probably enough to keep the cars looking aggressive and to keep the designers happy, isn't it? And I'm sure we'll still see some funky ways around it when we get to it. But I think they look nice. They look smoother and flatter and simpler and just a bit cleaner. They'd got a bit sort of Piccadilly Circus, and they how many fucking random things they stuck on them. So, yeah, I think.
Did you see the development of the Renault wing?
No. What,
So
from
there was
this weekend?
No, just from 2018. So they had like their starting wing compared to what the wing is now, and it's just like a flower unraveling. There's so so much more that goes to literally. It's almost like the wing goes round onto the side pods now. It's mad. So literally, it'll just be so much simpler. It'll be good fun. Let's see if it works. I've got a funny feeling it's not going to work as well as everyone else thinks.
No, I think it will have a positive effects, but I don't think it'll be enough on its own. But it doesn't need to be drastic. It's been so much closer this year. And I think this dream that everybody thinks of the top three getting closed up on by the midfield, that's not going to happen. It's just going to make the racing easier for the cars that are competitive with each other. It's not going to suddenly take away all Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull's performance, is it?
No.
Which is what I think some people seem to get the wrong idea. I think it's going to be some kind of magic button that suddenly makes everybody able to win a race. And that's what everybody seems to want F1 to be. And it's like, that's not really what we want it to be. We just want them to be able to race better and not be nursing these tyres. And be able to follow. If you've got a quick car behind the car in front, they should be able to pass without, this is the key thing, without DRS. If they can get it right, they can get rid of DRS, which would be nice. But anyway, yeah, I think they look pretty interesting, and obviously testing will go on for one more day. But Giovinazzi was the star of the day and showed some great form in that Ferrari. Maybe there's some hope of an Italian driver in an Italian Ferrari one day soon. We'll have to see. We've got one little thing from the race actually.
What was that?
Kimi Räikkönen's drink during the race.
That was so funny. My gate, my gate. I don't know what he was going for.
What he was trying to get from them,
like,
is it still coming out? As in, it might not be connected to me, but every time I press the drinks button, is it spurting into the cockpit?
Yeah,
That's what he wanted to know.
I think, I guess, is it going somewhere random? I didn't understand what he was asking for at first, because it was like, I don't care if it's not connected, but is it still there? I was just like, well, what does it matter? It's not connected. I didn't think, it's going everywhere. You just said that.
I can 100% see why people misconstrued it.
It's so funny. I was like, what's it matter, Kimmy? He just said it's not going to work. That was funny.
I did for a minute think he was like, if it's still there, I'm going to reach out and reconnect it.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But then when he was interviewed after about not having drinks bottle, he didn't care. He was like, if I'm not going to do a Kimmy accent because I can't do it. If he effectively just like, if we can't get through a race without a tiny bit of warm water, then we shouldn't be driving in the first place. They need to be fit enough without that. And I think there was actually a little tweet from somebody afterwards. Where was it? Can I find it? Without this being a horrible long pause. Is your favourite man Marcus Ericsson?
Marcus Ericsson?
Yeah.
Oh, what did he have to say?
I bet you can't wait to hear what he's going to say.
Oh, what's he got to say?
Haven't had a drink system installed for over 2 years, including today. It weighs around 1.5 kilograms, so we choose not to use it because of weight. It's one of the reasons why we should have all the same weight for all the drivers. Big words from your favourite man, Marcus Ericsson there. Right. That is all the news, I think, unless you've got anything else.
No news.
Nothing particularly. Bob Bell stepped down from advisory role at Renault. Passing of the era a little bit there.
Oh, we could have a big bit of news, mate. We missed it last month.
We did miss it last month, I guess. The passing of Sergio Marchionne.
Yes.
Not the most popular man in the paddock.
But I don't know. Did he have like shoulder surgery and then something went wrong?
Oh, I don't actually know the details of it. No.
From what I know, he had shoulder surgery and then he got ill afterwards. So
he was ill for a while before. Yeah.
I'm not too sure what he had. Shoulder surgery. That seems to something maybe to do with Fs. Maybe he had cancer or something. I don't know. Very odd. But yeah, condolences.
Yeah, condolences, and obviously difficult weekend for Ferrari. He's done great things since 2004, it must be said. Sorry, since 2014.
2004.
Yeah, I don't know why I said 2004. I think he's been the head of the Ferrari Motor Group or something since 2004. Only the F1 team since 2014. But has definitely turned around their fortunes in the last few years. And he was the man responsible for bringing in Sebastian Vettel as well. So, yeah, of course, anyone at that age, it's a tragedy, and condolences to him. But say he wasn't always the most popular man in the paddock.
He turned Fiat Chrysler from a £1 billion profit to actually in the black before he came over to
the other way around. Yeah, £1 billion deficit or debt.
Yes,
or
sorry,
loss.
£1 billion debt into a profit. Yeah, which is quite good, I guess.
Oh, he's a great businessman, and yeah, he's turned it's a bigger loss for the company than Formula One, I think.
Yes,
absolutely. But yeah, as I say, always sad at that age, and you never want to see anyone die in any active role in Formula One while they're still serving or still in the job. So yeah, tough. And a lot of people might have said, might have thrown Kimi Räikkönen a bone, because they might want just some stabilisation over the next year rather than bringing in Leclerc. So it might be a saving grace for him. Not that someone's death should ever be a saving grace, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Cool. Right. On to the inaugural Beat Rage then.
Oh.
Now, I tried to get a soundboard working, but it is too much effort. And I'm not going to subject people to the nonsense that you've been playing through the speakers.
What's wrong with that?
Each time. Because it cuts in and out all the time.
Does it? I haven't really listened back to it.
You don't want to. It's been awful. Highly entertaining for people, I think. But annoying. But I'm going to be, more of a casual game show host. It's going to be more about the questions than the quiz itself. So, we don't want this to switch around first time, so we're going to go slightly easy first time.
Okay.
The first one is a quiz of my own devising.
Oh.
It's just some straight up questions, most of them with multiple choice, but they're not, it's not taken from a quiz off the internet or anything. It's just questions I've come up with. There are some very, very easy ones just to make sure you get some points. Okay. So how do you think your knowledge is of Formula One in general before we start? Now we're on the other foot.
I think it's alright. It's okay. I think it's not as good as yours, but it's still reasonably good.
Okay. Well,
it's a bit woolly.
There's a good breadth of questions here.
Okay.
So there's lots of different types of questions and different categories in terms of drivers, teams, eras. So I think it's a nice comprehensive test. Of course, you guys can play at home as well and let us know what score you did get.
So to win, I've got to get more than half.
More than half. So we've got 12 questions, but some of them have multiple answers, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So there are multiple points available for certain questions. There's 12 questions, but 21 points available. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm very ready
to play Beat Rage.
Yes. I wish you had the soundboard.
So do I, but I mean, I can try and get one if you want.
Okay.
Oh no, my app store's fucked. I can't at the moment. I'll try and get a proper soundboard working next week, providing you win.
Oh,
but we'll have to wait and see. Right, question number 1. So we're looking for a range of answers here.
Okay.
4 points available for this question.
Oh wow.
We're starting off kind, okay?
Okay.
Just easing you into it.
Okay.
Just in case you know nothing about Formula One and you've been blagging. In what years did Lewis Hamilton win his 4 drivers' titles? 1 point for each correct year. First 4 years said will be taken.
Okay. Yeah. So 2008.
Correct.
Do I have to give them an order?
Nope.
Okay. 2000. 1 second. 2017.
Correct.
2015. 2014.
Correct on all 4.
Yay!
Nice. Good start. 4 points on the board.
I just had to get the right period that Rosberg left, and then you could, yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, the 1 year gap's a little tricky. But
It's a little tricky.
I wanted to try and catch you out and see if a question on your favourite driver that's very simple, whether you might get it wrong. But nope.
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
Good job. 4 points on the board. 4 out of 21. Of course, you are aiming for, I guess technically, 10.5.
Oh,
I'm gonna say you need 11
Okay.
because that ticks you over half. I don't think you're gonna get half points for anything. So that is 4 on the board. Question number 2.
Yes.
Who won the 1997 World Drivers' Championship? Multiple choice. Was it A, Jacques Villeneuve? Was it B, Mika Hakkinen? Was it C, Michael Schumacher? Or was it D, Damon Hill?
Oh.
1997.
Oh, Jake Dennis.
So let's have a think around. You know,
It's 97. I've got a funny feeling that it was Villeneuve.
Okay.
97. They all won around that kind of time.
That's the point of the question.
That's the point of the question. So who it was? Hill, Hakkinen, Schumacher, or
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Oh, was it Hill 96, 97, or was it Villeneuve 96, 97? This is the one that I'm really not sure. It was the Williams that won. All right, I'm just going to take away the other ones. Just, they're curveballs.
Wasn't Hakkinen, wasn't Schumacher. They're
Wasn't
out the
Hakkinen,
window.
Wasn't Schumacher. Throw them away.
They're on the curb. Kicked out. Surplus to requirements.
Surplus. All right. Oh. All right. I think Hill was 6. 1997 was Villeneuve. Final answer.
Is that your final answer?
It's a final answer.
Boom, boom, boom.
No, I was wrong. It was Hill.
That was the... See, I need a soundboard. That was the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sound for confirming the answer.
Oh, well, okay.
As in, locked in.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
So you said Jacques Villeneuve.
I did.
Son of famous ex-Formula 1 driver and world champion Gilles Villeneuve.
Yes.
In the Williams.
1997 Williams.
In 1997.
Yes.
It's correct.
Yes!
You're correct. Damon Hill was 1996. Villeneuve 7.
Yes.
Point on the board. Congratulations.
Yes.
5 out of 5 so far.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Question number 3. For 1 point. Multiple choice. Who claimed a famous Monte Carlo victory in the 1996 race? Was it A, Johnny Herbert? Was it B, Heinz Harald Frentzen? Was it was it C, Olivier Panis? Or was it D, Jean Alesi?
Oh, was this where they all ran out of fuel? This is the fuel one, isn't it?
Was it the fuel one?
Oh, it's Panis. Final answer.
Olivier Panis.
Yes, it's Panis.
C.
Panis. Final answer.
It's the correct answer.
Yes!
It was Olivier Panis.
They all ran out of fuel? Did they? Someone ran out of fuel. Please tell me someone ran out of fuel.
Crazy race.
Yay!
Yeah, I think there was some fuel running out. There was some crashes, retirements, dropping like
maybe
flies.
it's the one where they all crashed. Loads of people crashed.
There was lots of crashes. There were, I'm sure, some people that ran out of fuel. Only 4 finishers of that race.
I remember James Hunt was just like, and now he's crashed, so now it's this person in the lead. And now he's run out of fuel, now it's this person in the lead. And then Oliver Panis comes around and wins it in a little blue car, if I remember.
The little Ligier, indeed.
Yeah, the blue one. Yeah.
It was a famous victory for Olivier Panis.
Panis.
And Jess was also famously in the Top Gear episode where they did some rallycross on ice. Do you remember that?
Oh yes,
when they
it
were
was.
in the...
Yes.
Yep.
Olivia Penis Man. That's
the one. That's where the joke comes from.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, Jeremy Clarkson said he was famously won the Monaco Grand Prix in 1996. Congratulations, 6 points on the board. 6 out of 6.
Thank you.
You're only 5 points off winning this week's Beat Rage. Question number 4 for 1 point.
Oh, all right.
Which of these drivers had the most races before their first victory? Was it A, Jenson Button? Was it B, Jarno Trulli? Was it C, Mark Webber? Or was it D, Rubens Barrichello?
Oh,
so the most races before their first victory.
Button, Webber, Barrichello, and Trulli.
Correct. All, of course, famously won very late, hence the question. But which had the most races?
I can see them all winning. Like every single one of them, I can see them winning. So Button won in the Honda, BAR, whatever.
He did. Let's categorise it. So
Button in the Honda, probably around 2007, maybe 2008.
Okay, and when did he start?
Oh, fucking ages ago. No idea. So it was a while. I'm not gonna do it that much in detail.
Okay.
Truly, I'm not gonna lie. No idea. I didn't even know he'd won, to be honest. So let's just say that's a complete curveball. I'm actually gonna take him out completely.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Out
Can't
of the equation.
rationalise him. See you later, Jarno. Webber won with a Red Bull first. So he was late on. I think he won with a Red Bull first. I'm pretty sure he did. That was late on, and that was probably after DC left. So that's got to be 2000 and maybe 9, 10, maybe, not sure. Maybe even 2008. No idea. Can't remember. Rubens won in the Ferrari, and that was long into his career. But was it before Button? I don't think it was Webber. Pretty sure it wasn't Webber, because Webber did a lot of time with the Red Bulls. So I'm going to take Webber out as well. So it's between Barrichello and Button. I know Button had to wait a long time. Barrichello had already lost all of his hair.
He had hair?
So the question was who went the longest, or who had the most amount of races?
Races. So it's number of races before their first victory.
So it's which Formula 1 drivers had the most races before their victory?
Correct. Numerical races before their first win.
You bastard. That's really hard. It's between those two.
What, Button and Barrichello?
Button and Barrichello. I'm 90% sure it's Button, but I'm going to go Barrichello because that's what my gut tells me. So Barrichello, final answer.
Doo-doo-doo. Okay, we're going to build a bit of tension here. Jenson Button.
Yes.
113 races.
A lot of races.
For his first victory. It's a lot, isn't it?
A lot of races.
But was it higher or lower than Jarno Trulli?
Oh, I forgot about Jarno Trulli. I don't know.
Jarno Trulli.
Lower.
119 races.
Oh, yes.
Higher.
It was higher?
Button 113.
Oh, I thought it was 130. Okay, all right, 13.
Trulli 119.
Shit.
Mark Webber.
Yes.
The chiseled Aussie grit.
Lower.
130 races.
Fuck!
For Mr. Mark Webber.
Jesus.
First victory in the
Aussie grit.
2009 German Grand Prix.
Yeah, I was right.
Yes. Rubens Barrichello.
Oh, he was in a Ferrari, and it was in the 2004-ish, maybe 2002-ish season.
For the point.
Oh,
was it higher or lower than Mark Webber's 130?
It's higher.
It's 123.
Oh!
I'm sorry. It was Mark Webber.
What year?
Rubens Barrichello, 2000 German Grand Prix.
Bastard. It was Mark Webber.
Yep. So Mark
Never
Webber
mind.
had longer, and he, of course, the few years running up, they had more races as well. So that's what kind of threw it.
But my only reasoning was because of how many he'd done, Barrichello. Like how many
Yep,
races in
but
total.
he did win pretty early. His first race was sort of 94, 95. Maybe
Yeah,
a
I
couple of
guess.
years before, 92 maybe. So it was 8 years, but they raced a little bit less back then. So I liked the logic. Unfortunately, it's your first point dropped. It's 6 out of 7. Still doing well though.
Thank you.
Okay. So there's a mixed bunch in here. Should get all sorts. So let's see. Right, question number 5.
Mm.
Which track... Hang on. Yeah. Which track has held the most official Formula 1 races? So that's track, not country. Was it A, Silverstone? Is it B, Monaco? Is it C, Monza? Or is it D, Spa-Francorchamps? So it's the most official, so that's since 1950, the most official F1 races. Silverstone, Monaco, Monza, or Spa?
I don't think they did Monaco until the 60s.
Okay.
I think. Monaco's been on there every year since, though. So he's always a bit of an if, but or maybe. Monza, I think he had a bit of a rest when they did Imola. Maybe.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's not Monza. But it's whether they rested Silverstone and still used places like Brands Hatch, and I know they used Donington once, maybe, as the European and not the British. Oh, it's got to be between Monaco and Silverstone. Spa's been going for donkeys though as well. But was Spa one of the starts?
Was it?
Silverstone, final answer.
Silverstone.
Yeah.
Okay, it's locked in. As it went so well for tension last time, we're going to count through in number of races.
Oh no.
So you've gone A, Silverstone.
Mhm.
Silverstone
Mhm.
has hosted 52 Grand Prix.
Oh fuck.
52.
52 since 1950. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Oh god.
Spa-Francorchamps
Mhm.
has hosted 50 races. Not quite. Silverstone still leading the way.
Oh.
Monaco.
Very hard questions,
It
Jamie.
is. It is. But they're open at least.
Yeah.
And you can make kind of educated decisions rather than what fucking track beginning with Z was once held the German Grand Prix. Here's 4 tracks that aren't in Germany. Okay. We're mixing it up. You only dropped 1 point so far. Monaco.
Right. Yep.
65 races.
Oh bollocks!
That's more. But the correct answer was Monza.
It was
with
Monza.
67 races.
What?
Yep, it all the time that they were. The Imola was actually the San Marino Grand Prix.
Oh, of course it was.
And Monza has run pretty much consistently since they had that bank circuit. Silverstone's had breaks because of other tracks. Monaco I was surprised at because I didn't think they'd ever not been a Monaco Grand Prix. But obviously, I think you're probably right. It probably came in the late 60s, 70s. So it's only too short. And Spa, has not been on for as long as the others. But yep, I'm afraid that's another drop point. So it's 6 out of 8 so far.
Okay.
I'll try not to build too much tension because it's taking a while. Tension takes time. Question number 6. One of your F1 heroes, of course, Ayrton Senna. But in what year did he make his Formula 1 debut?
Oh, piss it.
Was it 1980? Was it 1982? Was it 1984? Or was it 1988?
Well, it wasn't 88. It's too late.
Okay, so it's 80, 82, 84.
Okay, so his debut was in the Candy, what's the call it car? It was in there.
I feel this doesn't benefit the question, so Tolman, yes.
It was the Tolman, and he surprised round the Monaco Grand Prix. It was wet. Pretty much he won, but, you know, the FIA came to the rescue of Prost and decided to cut it short a lap before the end. Like, you know, casual stuff, casual cheating.
Well, Prost basically decided to cut it short, and then they all agreed with
he
it.
stopped. He just thought, stop. Yeah, I won. It's fine. Doesn't matter, I won. Everyone agreed. They're all French. They all agree. But what year was that?
80.
So 88 is definitely too late. 88 is definitely too late because he was already in the McLaren by 89.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. And he had 2, maybe even a year stint. Was it 2 years? He had a stint with the Lotus. I'm pretty sure it's just a 1 year stint. So he had 2 years before he went in. So it's not 8. So it's 80.
So your answer is 1986.
80 you had first, and then 80,
82 or 84?
84. Final answer. Oh, or is it? Or is it 82? No, it's 84. Final answer. Just do it, Jamie.
84.
It's got to work out that way. Has to. 84.
The question was, in what year did Ayrton Senna make his F1 debut? You're correct. It was 1984.
Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very well works out.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know why I threw 88 in there. I mean, you're not allowed to follow Formula 1 if you think Ayrton Senna made his debut in 1988 in a McLaren. But so that now makes it 7 points out of a possible 9. Just 4 to go to win this competition.
Okay.
And you may well do it on this next question. This is a 4-pointer.
Ooh.
Question number 8.
Oh.
Which 4 tracks in the UK have held a World Championship, British or European Grand Prix? 4 tracks.
Okay. Silverstone?
I'll take your first answer on each. Silverstone. Correct.
Brands Hatch.
Correct.
Donington.
Correct. There's been one more. But you have 3 points secured.
Alton Park.
Incorrect.
Ah.
3 out of 4.
Where was it?
Not bad.
Tell me.
It was Aintree.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Oh, I knew that. Thank
That's
you.
not how it works. But, yeah. Perfect.
First British Grand Prix was held at Aintree.
Was it?
It was.
Did you not know that?
No, I did.
Exactly.
Shut up.
Okay, good to know. No, it's a little bonus fact. That brings you within 1 point of extending your run till next week. So that's 10 out of 14 now. We have 4 questions left. You're gonna do it. No problem at all. But can you do it impressively? We'll have to see. Question number 9. Benetton won the 1994 and 1995 World Championship titles. But who was the team principal at the time? Was it A, Ross Brawn?
Team principal?
Yeah, so the big
yeah.
cheese.
Big boss.
Big boss man.
Big curly
Benetton.
head, Flavio Briatore type guy.
Possibly. Ross Brawn.
Yep.
Tom Walkinshaw.
Yep.
Flavio Briatore.
Final answer.
Or Jake Dennis.
I think it might be Jake Dennis.
Sorry, Ron Dennis.
Sorry. Oh, Ron Dennis. Flavio, final answer.
Correct.
Thank you.
I wasn't sure if you made it must be a blank spot, but no, you know that. Good.
I know it.
Well, you have now won
Hello.
this week's 11 out of 15.
Yes.
That puts you through to next week with 3 questions to spare.
Yes.
Do you want to finish just to see what
Let's
you
do
would
it
have
quick.
got?
Whack 'em through.
Okay. Question number 10.
Yes.
Which constructor has taken the most pole positions? Is it A, Williams, B, McLaren, C, Ferrari, or D, Lotus?
McLaren.
B, McLaren.
Yes.
Final answer.
Yes.
Incorrect. It's Ferrari.
Damn, of course it is.
Ferrari with 218.
How many McLaren?
Not sure. Haven't
Okay,
got those
carry on.
Haven't got those numbers. Running it through the computer. Nope. We haven't got the numbers.
Damn it, Jeff.
Tough. Question number 11. In a similar light, I got on a bit of a roll during these.
Okay.
Which engine supplier has had the most constructors' titles?
Ferrari.
Ford,
Oh,
Ferrari,
Ferrari.
Renault,
Yes,
or Mercedes?
Ferrari.
You're going with Ferrari.
Final answer.
So they've only ever supplied their own team.
Oh.
Ford, Renault, and Mercedes, of course, have supplied other teams.
Ferrari.
You're
Yeah.
going with Ferrari.
I'm going with Ferrari.
Correct.
Thank you.
Was Ferrari with 15?
Trying to get me off the scent.
Little bit.
Yeah.
I also feel you hadn't really considered the question whatsoever. you said Ferrari before I said the question, almost. Right. Well, that brings you up to 12. Nicely clear of the number. Now, I think this is my best question. I'm proud of this one. Okay.
Okay.
This has got 5 points
Oh.
available. So this could be the difference between a cracking win and just scraping through.
Okay.
Okay. So listen to the question carefully.
Okay.
Which F1 drivers have done both of these things? Have won a race in Formula 1
Mm-hmm.
and owned a team that is named after themselves. Okay? So they've started a team that's named the same as them, but they've also won a Formula 1 race. Not necessarily for the team, that's the difference.
Okay.
So there's
So I've
5
got to name the
drivers
drivers.
to get. Yeah.
Okay. So Alain Prost.
Alain Prost. Team
Bruce
name
McLaren.
Prost.
Oh, yeah. Bruce McLaren.
Yep.
McLaren.
Correct. 2.
Jack Brabham. Brabham.
Correct. There's 6. May have missed out Brabham.
Did I just out question you?
I didn't have a question. Like I didn't read this off somewhere. I made this up myself. So there might be many missing.
So is this people who named it after themselves? So say Jack Brabham, his surname's Brabham, so he named it Brabham.
Yep. So the teams, because there are other drivers that won races that have been team principals.
Yeah.
These
like,
are people. Gerhard Berger, to name one. But these are people that won a race and then started a team called the same as their team, i.e. McLaren, Prost, and Brabham, which was definitely on here. Definitely not.
So I've got 3 out of 5.
3 out of 6 now. You've added an extra point, which I guess changes the. No, that would be cool. Well, you've already passed anyway, so that's 3 out of 6. So you got 3 remaining.
Now, I know whatchamacallit Williams did used to drive.
Frank Williams.
But I don't know if he drove in Formula 1.
More importantly, did he win a race?
No, he didn't. No.
I will tell you, he did drive in Formula 1.
He did. But he didn't win a race. So yeah, no, I'm gonna no, they're out.
Okay.
It's going to be some of these weird ones, I think.
Oh, well, no, that would give it away.
No. No. Ferrari.
Well, Enzo Ferrari.
I don't think Enzo would have raced.
Is that what you were saying? He's the only man that has the Ferrari name.
No. Can't be Ferrari.
Correct. Enzo Ferrari did drive in pre-war Formula 1, but that's not official Formula 1. So it doesn't count.
Jesus. This is tricky stuff.
It is. There's only one of the 3 remaining that came to mind immediately. The other 2 I found.
Sorry, one of the 3 remaining. What?
That came to mind immediately. The other 2 required some research, or came up during research.
Ligier?
Incorrect. You got 3 left. I'm going to allow you 2 guesses.
Phil, seeing as I can't get 1 more, I'm going to struggle with 3. So 3 more people.
I know, but otherwise you could just keep naming teams and we'd be here forever.
Yeah. So we said Bruce. We've said.
You've said Bruce McLaren, Alan Prost, and Jack Brabham.
Jackie Stewart.
Jackie Stewart, correct.
Stewart, yeah.
Yes, with
Jackie
Stewart
Stewart
Racing in the 90s. So you have one guess and there's 2 remaining.
See, I don't think Damon Hill's dad, Graham Hill, had a team called Hill Racing. I can't see that being a thing, so I'm going to cut him out.
Cutting out Graham Hill.
Yeah, cutting out. But then Lotus. What? He's not called Lotus. You know.
What? Colin Chapman? No, he's not called Lotus.
But did he win? Did he have a race? I'm going to say I don't know anymore.
Okay.
So that's it.
What's your one guess?
You
got one guess, so.
Oh, Colin Chapman. I don't know.
What? Chapman Racing?
I don't
Incorrect.
Know. Thank you.
Congratulations, you managed to find one I didn't and still got 4 out of 6.
Okay.
So that leaves you
Jack Brabham.
22. That leaves you on 16 out of 22 for your final score.
Okay, thank you.
A cracking effort. Some of them were pretty tough. Some of them were pretty tough.
What are the people who I missed?
Oh, well, you just have to always think.
No, tell me.
The 2 that you missed.
Yeah.
One you actually said and didn't guess.
Oh.
It was Graham Hill.
It was Graham Hill.
Embassy Hill Racing.
Oh. Okay,
He
never
did.
mind.
I was surprised as well, but the last 2 years of his career, he created his own team.
Okay.
They were Embassy Hill Racing. One driver left. And it was... Who was it?
Was it Prost?
You've already said
I said
Prost.
Prost.
You got a point
Oh.
for Prost.
Okay, no idea.
It
I
was the
don't
werewolf himself. Emerson Fittipaldi.
Did he have a race team?
He did, yes,
What's
in the
it called?
80s.
MO Ballbag Racing?
Fittipaldi Automotive.
Oh, okay.
He actually one of the longer of the older drivers that had their own team. It was 5 or 6 years. Didn't do very well. They did shit. But yep, Fittipaldi Automotive. I thought that was quite a fun question. Apart from that, I got one wrong, and there's probably more. To be fair,
Probably.
it's probably like some 50s racers or something. They all drove their own cars. Oh wait, Ascari weren't a team, were they? No, they can't have been.
Ascari?
I know they're a team now, like a car manufacturer now. No, they were all for Ferrari. That's right. I'm sure there's more. If there's more, leave them down in the comments below. That was a very ad-lib question.
Who's the American one? He's quite old now. American driver. He does a lot of IndyCar. Got his own team.
Marco Andretti.
Andretti. Was there an Andretti F1 team?
I know there's definitely Indy cars. And there might have been, you know. That's not a bad call. No, I don't want. Oh no, it's Mario Andretti, wasn't it? His son's Marco. Mario Andretti. Super Mario.
Formula One World Championship career.
Full time. He
Not
did.
sure.
He did not. He did not.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. Full F1 results. Somewhere. Lotus, STP, Ferrari, Vels, Pinelli Jones, John Player, Lotus, Team Essex was a thing. Alfa Romeo, Williams, and Ferrari. He did not. But I'm sure there's some we've missed. That's little. As long as there's not like 7 or 8, in which case Rage then loses this week because he hasn't got half. No, that's fine. I feel it should be actually really 16 out of 21, shouldn't it? Because that's all the answers I had.
Whatever.
Congratulations. How
Thank
did you
you.
find your first quiz?
Hard.
Well, it's tough, isn't it? Being the other end of it. It is. It was a mixed bag, that one, I feel.
It was good quiz.
Good.
Well done.
Good. Book is coming out at the end of the year. Okay, well it's been I maybe need to shorten it up as well, that bit. A bit longer than yours. But yeah, I like asking the questions as much as answering them. I like that section, it's good. Hopefully you guys still enjoy it. Right.
I heard we took a bit of a beating.
Quick
on
look
the Formula.
then. I haven't actually looked, to be fair, just yet. So let's take a look. Yeah, I heard that as well. Apparently we filled out. I mean, knowing my team, it didn't do great. Right, leagues. Cream Can Cup. I'm down to 11th. And you're down to 9th.
Oh.
Fox is still up there in 4th. Pow 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 still leads the way from Papaya Orange, Merrick, Fox, Sawyer, TKM, Yazburg, Armchair Pilot, and then it's yourself, MC Racing, and I've now dropped out of the top 10. I did alright, to be fair. I got 167 points this week. That's alright.
Who were the guys you were rolling around with?
They were TKM and Sawyer, who are both joint 5th.
No.
About 30 points ahead of you and almost 100 ahead of me. Actually, no, about 80 ahead of me. 62.
I didn't do too badly. 121 points. I had Magnussen, Alonso, Hamilton, Raikkonen, and Leclerc, but my team was Red Bull, so that probably didn't do well.
You lost quite a lot of... Did your turbo driver lose double the points if they're the turbo driver?
Yeah, because he didn't finish, did he, Leclerc? 28 points loss.
That's harsh.
I see, the guy who's winning, Pow Pow Pow, he had Raikkonen in his turbo driver once. I didn't know how you could do that.
Maybe his stock's gone up.
No idea.
Maybe he's worth more than 20 million now. To be fair, he only got 125 this week. It was his 220 points last week that put him back on top. But the field's still pretty close. There's only a couple hundred points in it. So it's still all to play for. And it's a pretty close little league. And even the guys that joined late are still getting up there. I feel like Lewis is the GOAT. Joined pretty late.
He did?
Oh, no, he didn't. Someone did. I think that might be Lewis Fanboy. Joined week 3, and he's almost on the back of the field. So, yeah. Yeah, we need to improve, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I need to really have... I think I'm going to finally do a wild card over the summer break.
I've done mine already, I think.
Okay. I'm going to do a wild card and really think about this and see if we can make a comeback up the order. But at the moment, title challengers, Pow 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 and Papaya Orange, Formula 1 team.
Should we leave predictions? Because we're going to do an interim race.
Yeah, at least I hope so.
Yeah, we can do it.
Just in case we don't. I'm sure we will.
The week before,
just in case we don't.
Okay.
Let's hope no one gets injured between now and then. No.
It'll be Lewis.
So Spa, is it Spa and return?
Spa, yeah. So I'm gonna go Lewis, Vettel, Raikkonen.
Okay, I'm gonna go Vettel, Lewis, Bottas.
Mm-hmm. Lock them in, Fox. I think that the thing is, though, no one knows what's happening with this. Who's winning this at the moment?
The
I think
predictions.
You're winning, aren't you? Yeah.
No, you're still ahead. I have apparently, if anyone doesn't know, for some reason it's become another competition because that's all we do on this podcast is pointless conversations. Well, not necessarily pointless. So a good fan and good friend Fox of the good friend of the channel Fox made a spreadsheet for us, which is somewhere. It's probably going to be a long way back up here, isn't it? Basically keeping track of our predictions. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this. Why do we have so many conversations? Can you find it? No.
I've no idea where it is.
There it is. Prediction spreadsheet. So basically, we've been getting a point for each correct answer, and a half a point if the prediction finishes in the top 3, but not the same position we said. So Hungary, I got 2 spot on, Vettel and Raikkonen in 2nd and 3rd, and Verstappen unfortunately did not win. Vettel was in the top 3, which was Rage's prediction for the win, but obviously not in 1st, so only half a point. And Ricciardo and Verstappen not in the top 3. So it means that the scores are 10.5 at the moment for me over the season and 13 for Rage. So, all to play for. Do you want to guess how many correct predictions we've got during the season?
None.
You have 8 correct predictions. And I have had 5.
Yay!
But I think I've had more
on the right kind of ballpark.
Yeah, in the top 3. There was one week which I feel Fox has been very generous in Spain. You said 1 and 2 a Mercedes driver. So obviously they finished 1-2, so you got given a point for that. But I guess it's correct. But if you don't actually name them, I feel that's unfair. But apart from that, yeah, it's interesting to see. Maybe at the end of the season we'll go through the spreadsheet and see. What would also be interesting is out of the top 3, who we've made world champion.
Oh yeah.
So in our predictions, who's if you gave them points, just the top 3, obviously, who we think it would be the world championship. Yeah, I would have given.
I'm going to change all of my predictions, so I always. No, I won't. I'll play the game.
I think you're quite accurate. You've predicted 2 wins for Ricciardo this year, and he's won twice.
Hey.
You've also predicted 1 win for Raikkonen, which, to be fair, I did as well. And then the rest between Hamilton and Vettel.
Yeah, I did hope once upon a time.
I mean, it might still happen. I might predict him first for every race. Just for that 1 point when it happens.
I feel that's a losing attitude, right?
I think you might be right.
And on that rather large piece of bombshell-related tomfoolery.
Yes. It is time to end. I hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast as per usual. I know it's the only thing on the channel at the moment, so I do appreciate you guys that still watch it. Watching it religiously, watching each week, you know what I mean. Content will be back. I'm going to try and get some over the next couple of weeks. In the off chance that I don't, we'll be going hard on the new F1 game, won't we? When it comes out at the end of August.
Yes.
Didn't you tell me you had a week off as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll be getting plenty of content and some streams out for that, and hopefully that'll be the latest date that I kickstart the channel and start everything back up again. But we're not dead, okay? It's not dead, just taking an extended break, I guess, is the way to put it. But you guys are still watching the podcast, and I appreciate that. So yes, we will see you again very soon. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you, as always, Rage, for joining me.
No problem.
And we'll see you again very soon.
Yamagashi, Mr. Toyota-san.